And welcome back to the semifinals. We have the Retarded Rabbits on the Warm team. And on the Cold team, we have Stalker and Alchemist, which is still not playing Stalker or Alchemist. But we're still playing on the same map, which is a little bit interesting right there. So, we'll see how this benefits either team. They're both playing ranged and healers. However, one team does have a certain healer that is a little bit good at range sometimes. And we do see that Chronoflux going out right there. Still managed to get off the CC onto Nopa, so Oboluf does pick up that energy room. And just a little bit of stun going on onto Nopa. That does have a little bit of an effect right there. And doing a Chronoflux potentially to stop insects going out onto Nopa. That's just my best guess right there. And that haste was a little bit wasted from that CC. Oboluf could potentially use the ult right now because Nopa had already used his space, and that opens up potential for Shosh to just run in and use his basic M1 abilities right there. And we do see no hits on that. Oh, we did see a hit onto Shosh right there, but Nopa's not going to capitalize on that. He's going to hit Oboluf instead. And a counter ult coming from Shosh right there. Doesn't look like it actually did any normal damage, but I guess it did do a little bit of zoning. It kind of reset the match or something if the other team were planning on doing damage at that point. Oboluf probably out of position right there as Shosh comes in to join him. However, for the most part, getting hurt quite a bit. See who manages to get this right there. Nopa does do a lot of damage onto Shosh. He was trying to get to that injury room as quickly as possible, possibly line of sighting his healer right then and there. So that was a little bit of a disbenefit to him, if that is a word, disbenefit, I don't know. Anyway, so Cold Team is going to grab the first round right there for themselves. We'll see what the response from Warm Team is. Despite what I've said from the very start about Chronoflux being the advantage for the Cold Team, it doesn't seem like it's actually doing all that much of a difference as I expected to say the least. Right there it is definitely doing a little bit, and Nopa getting feared over into that area over there, so a lot of potential to do damage to the Herald, but it looked like Shosh was more focused on chasing after Nopa at that point. A little bit of mismanagement there perhaps, and a little bit of a whipped fear as Nopa has his own area to shoot off into the Warm Team. As a little bit of a CC onto the Herald there, see how far that goes, and a little bit of an interrupt onto Shosh. Nopa getting triangle here for a little bit, but not actually taking all that much damage. We do see one hit going out onto Shosh from that ultimate, and a whole bunch of damage going out onto the Nomad, as that was a double ultimate coming out from the Cold Team there. Oboluf going down quite a bit. That space hopefully was supposed to go all the way up. And looks like Warm Team just mostly kiting this. Looks like the kind of turtle until ult playstyle coming out from the Nomad team there. As Oboluf, he has his ultimate. Shosh almost has his ultimate. Moving on to the other side of that Chronoflux there. However, unfortunately for him, Nopa still had space, so he was able to jump out of there while taking minimal amount of damage. So another ultimate coming out from the Herald there. Lots of damage coming out onto Shosh right there. And it looks like Nopa's going to go in there, try and use his enlarge in order to do as much damage as possible. Meteor onto Oboluf as he was feared into the corner, unable to escape from that meteor. Possibly the easiest to hit meteor as at all. Shosh probably going to, yes, there we go, gets cleaned up right then and there. So, 2 games or 2 rounds for the Cold Team right there. Looks like, actually, despite what I was saying earlier about the Warm Team doing a kind of turtle until ult, playstyle. It's actually like both teams, if you can believe it, are turtling until ult. So, I mean, I don't know how you can have any other playstyle besides turtle until ult when both teams are ranged. But that's my story, and that's how I'm going to tell it right there. A little bit of a whipped meteor, I believe, aimed at Shosh. However, Obelef did get the energy, so he's potentially going to get his ultimate a little bit faster if these teams are turtling until ult. Nopa getting his hit over to there, so that means that he's going to have to use his space. So is Shosh going to use his ultimate as soon as he gets it? No, because Nopa probably had his space back up right about there. The Herald, however, he already used his space, so nope. Nopa uses his, is enlarged, and a little bit of an ultimate going out from the Cole team. Double hit from it, lots of damage going on to them, and another ultimate coming out from Nopa, taking out Shosh, and Obelef using his ult to heal himself back up. However, actually goes back down almost immediately as soon as that healing is done. And Colt team, seems like they very easily picked up that one right there. Despite the early pickup from the Colt team on the energy rune, did I say Colt team? The Warm team picked up the energy rune, and the Colt team just seemed like they used their energy more efficiently than the Warm team in that respect right there. So Warm team is zoning out this rune. Again, does grab it up. He has enough energy for an EX right about now, and reflected bugs right there. Nice timing on the Chronoflex from Mule, as we do see a space into Howling Wind from Shosh as we get a double fear onto the Cold team, and Mule going down to about 50% health. Could potentially go down if he doesn't have anything to respond to this. Nice space, takes him to the other side of that wall there, as he does have a Chronoflex in order to block the majority of angles. Obelef decides to go in, has the insects, and the Herald just kiting even more. Could see a double ultimate here, double hit, and double ultimate. Obelef taking a lot of damage from that other ultimate there. He had nothing to do against it besides just walk back and forth. However, now we see a kind of a little bit of a reversal of fortune as the Warm team has the Cool team stuck in this corner right about here. And could see another reset here. Now, Cold team actually has the absolute health advantage right here, as Shosh has his ultimate, and Nopa has already used his space, and the Chronoflex was on the wrong side, but Shosh decided not to use it. I'm not sure what the reasoning behind that was, but we do have Chronoflex once again, and double ultimate could come out from the Cold team. However, that ultimate right there does interrupt any possibility of that. Lots of damage going out to Nopa right about there. And down goes Shosh as double bugs goes out onto the Warm team. So, Cold team picks that one up as well. It seems like like that Chronoflex that I said isn't doing all that much. Yes, actually it is. I mean, possibly the threat of Chronoflux is what does the most against a Nomad or something to that effect, because it can come out of just anywhere unless if it's already on full end. So Nopa going down to about 75% health there, and Shosh picking up the rune again. Cold team getting pushed into this corner here. It looks like they're trying to draw them into a situation where the Nomad can't use their mobility as much. Space going out onto Obelef as he uses his EX Sphere and insects to put Nopa into this area where it's a little bit inconvenient for his Herald to heal him up there. And a meteor onto Shosh doesn't even take him into normal health there. And once again, Nopa is a little bit overextended. EX Sphere into insects onto the Herald there, as Nopa gets CC'd one more time, and a fear onto Nopa. I mean, just CC after CC going out onto Nopa. He does not seem to be able to get all that much done. Point blank ultimate onto Obelef. He just uses his space in order to cancel it out right there. And Meteor going out into Mule just as he used his Aegis. And now Cold team getting pushed off into this area here that they definitely don't want to be in here, as that would be the best place for the Nomad to take you out to dinner, I mean, I suppose, or something to that effect. By take you out to dinner, I mean kill you. As Obolov does EX Fear into there, and he'll using his EXQ in order to jump back through here. Chronoflux is definitely doing its work right here. But just then, Shosh uses his ultimate in order to take Nopa down to about 15% health here. Obolov probably wants to get out of there. He does indeed get out of there right then and there. Nopa looking like he's going for position to use his ultimate, or he's trying to take the rune. Not necessarily sure why he's so far over here. Neil has to use his space in order to get into position to heal him, or at least get out of that box right about there. Using his ultimate gets cancelled with that EX Fear. However, it was a single hit onto Shosh, who was line of sighting Obolov right then and there. So that allowed Nopa to take him out, no problems whatsoever with the machine gun. So there we go. Cold team, this Stalker and Alk Liar team, they take this game 5-0. And we're going to look at the other game in the semifinals right now. Welcome back. We have Bubba plays Grimgorn on the warm team here, Comrade Rivener, and Balls of Steel on the cold team here. I have to admit that out of all the teams that we've watched so far, that Bubba plays Grimgorn is possibly my favorite name so far. Out of teams that I've seen at all, that is possibly one of the names that makes me smile the most. As Kaizus decides to move into this corner area here. Bubba, last time we saw him, was using this corner to his advantage in order to kite all day. And looks like Kaizus not really savvy to the idea of getting kited. So Firenzer does jump onto Grimgorn right about there, taking him down to about 75% health there. As an ultimate coming out onto Bubba, he has no out, and the FAP attack is preoccupying Grimgorn in the meantime. So we saw two channeling attacks right there. Nice parry from Kaizus as he reflected that in cap at that exact moment right there. And it looks like Bubba trying to kite even more, but that leaves Grimgorn with the minimal amount of health in order to keep him up. Bubba could potentially use his ultimate here, and it does hit Kaizus, but we don't have any follow-up ultimate coming from Grimgorn right there. As that silence was actually cancelled, I believe it was. Ultimate coming out from Kaizus as Bubba just spaces away once again. And he's probably going to use his EX time shift right about now. Or not, actually, because it probably wouldn't work anymore anyway. As Grimgorn uses his ultimate, but I don't think it actually hit anything, going down to about 15% health right there. And Firenzer unleashing his ultimate right there. And both teams really just not doing all that much damage. Double hit from Bubba's ultimate right there, but still no ultimate to follow it up from Grimgorn. I mean, that seems to be the staple of their entire composition, is that whenever Bubba uses his ultimate, Grimgorn just automatically hits both of the enemy team with his ultimate, and then just pretty much kills them at that point. So another ultimate coming out from Bubba once again. But still, Grimgorn, he doesn't seem to be getting the energy to get his ultimate at all. I mean, I think we've only seen one come out of him this whole game, or this whole round. I feel like the whole game. And Firenzer could potentially get taken down quite low, but now he's got his ward up. And Kaizus, oh man, got really dangerously close there, but that punt actually saved him, in my opinion. It took him out of range of any damage, and just as soon as he was about to die, right now the fire's rolling in, and neither one of the teams have a normal health advantage. And this might clear it up right about here, as that was a double hit onto the cold team. Kaizus could potentially go down, and a nice punt onto the Grimlock, takes him out of the fog, but I think he died mid-punt, actually, as he was just so low, and anything took him out of his recovery health, and then just punt killed him. So right there, Firenzer had 7,200 damage, so it was much higher than Bubba's. So it looks like a lot of damage coming out from the warm team, whereas a little bit less damage, more kind of defense coming out from the Cold team. And once again, Bubba going into this area here, he's mastered the idea of just kite all day and let Grimgorn do all the damage. And right when he's line of sighting, his melee DPS is potentially weird. They just need to unleash a really huge combo onto the Ravner right then and there. As we see a double hit ultimate going out onto the Cold team, taking Kaizu's down to about 25% health there. That fear was interrupted, so that could have potentially killed Kaizu's at that point. Bubba once again spacing away, but whiffing his ultimate because he was line of sighting his targets there. He was not able to see where he was supposed to be hitting. And Grimgorn, he's almost got his ultimate. Right about now would be actually a good time for Bubba to get his, for the one team to do that really high damage combo that they do. So now Grimgorn's got his ultimate. See if Bubba is able to get his fast enough, or there we go. We do see a double hit onto Kaizu's from Grimgorn, following that up with an ultimate from Bubba that's going to silence Firenzer. He's unable to heal his Reaver, his Reaver at all, and just gives up right there because that ultimate just finished everything. It being a double hit, and Kaizu's not having any outs in order to kite for the duration of that silence was just everything that could have potentially have gone wrong for the Cold team at that point. So we'll see what the Cold team has in response to this. If they can pull out their first round there. I'm not sure why he was standing there on the energy arena to let himself get stunned, as Kaizu's taking a whole bunch of damage, just chain abilities onto him at that point there. Firenzer looks like he's going a little bit more meek for this round. Just as I say that, he jumps in to do damage onto Bubba right then and there. And a little bit of damage going out to Bubba, who was down to normal health there. Could see an ult come out from Firenzer. He uses Meteor instead there. Bubba once again hiding around. Jeez, that must be so annoying for the Cold team there. But we have a double hit from Grimgorn, and takes down Firenzer out of his recovery health. And that punk token out of his ward, which is a lot of the healing that comes out from Grimgorn. A little bit of collapse onto Grimgorn right there, but doesn't manage to do all that much damage. One hit from that ultimate from Bubba onto Kaizu's, but not all that much capitalization onto it there. Grimgorn still not receiving all that much healing, but still managing to not take damage as well. No hits on his ultimate though. And Kaizu's could potentially use his ultimate the next time Bubba spaces, but it seems like every time he does, it's into an inconvenient spot as he gets hit by a meteor, and now he's going to use his Aegis instead of his ultimate just to stay alive for just a little bit longer. That parry, very nicely timed, does actually get his ultimate blocked by Bubba's Aegis. And we'll see if they do a collapse onto him now that he's used his space, as Grimgorn gets silence there for a little bit. Could see Firenzer go down to just about anything. He does have his ultimate. One hit from that, two hits from that, as Kaizu's goes almost completely down. That meteor was screwed up by Kaizu's kick. Unfortunately for him, he did have a little bit of a knockback on it, canceling that ultimate from the Grimrock right there. Just as soon as Grimgorn uses his spin in order to reflect that. Unfortunately for Cold team, they were not able to do damage, and down goes Bubba right then and there, just as Grimgorn takes out Firenzer. So we'll see if this 1v1, there we go. There we go, just as I'm trying to figure that out. Grimgorn takes out Kaizu's with an M2 end cap and the back. So a little bit extra damage going out there. But while it lasted, Kaizu's able to get an end cap into meter, which was a little bit of a step ahead for him. It was just if he was able to figure out how to stay alive for just that little bit longer there. So Kaizu's coming to the Warm team. It kind of makes me feel like coming to the Warm team in this situation is not necessarily good. I mean, you let Bubba kite you all day, and you don't get all that much for it except for Grimgorn's hammers in your back. So we do see one hit, two hits onto... Actually, he might have dodged that. onto Kaizu's right there. Bubba going down to about 75% health. Could see an ultimate come out from Kaizu's. He has used his space, so he could use kick in order to get over there, but he might have already used it, as there was an EX Q from Bubba to space a little bit away, and you could see an ultimate coming out from Bubba. There it is, silencing Firenzer. You could see a lot of damage go on to Kaizu's. Again, actually, the silence comes off just in time for him to not really take all that much damage. Grimgorn now has his ultimate, going ahead and using it. Only one hit onto Kaizu's, taking him just barely out of recovery health right there. Bubba using his Aegis right there, and reflecting the ultimate from Firenzer, and following it up with an ultimate up his helmet. That's almost like two ultimates coming out of somebody at the same time. And Firenzer getting dangerously low right here. Could potentially get taken out. There was a Dispel possibly on his Aegis right then and there, and he could go down to just about anything. Double hit ultimate from Grimgorn does take out Kaizu's right then and there, and Firenzer looks like he's thrown in the towel for that round at least, and could potentially see another 5-0 from this tournament, which just seems to be completely full of 5-0s and 5-1s. I think we saw, or just one 5-1 during that one game there, and this one could just be another one of those 5-0s that we see coming out from the one team here, as Grimgorn getting taken down to about 80% right there. And Kaizu's missing all those abilities, unfortunately for him. Still doing quite a bit of damage to Grimgorn. He has his ultimate, and Grimgorn has already used his space, so nice timing on that there. Taking down Grimgorn to about 25% health. He has to use his Aegis in order to survive. Reflected ultimate from Firenzer. I'm pretty sure he thought that reflect was going to end sooner, and we could see an ultimate come out from Bubba. Yes, one hit. That's it, one hit, but it still allows a double hit amplified ultimate to come out from Grimgorn. However, simultaneously, Bubba does go down to Kaizu's. So, whole team's saying no more 5-0s, and just winning one round at least. We'll see how many more they can get. I mean, if they can get 4 more without giving up one more game, then that's pretty much like if they 5-0'd or something. And if the other team can 5-0 you, then that means that you could potentially 5-0 them or something to that effect, at least. Some kind of optimistic statement in that respect. So, Grimgorn once again taking a bit of damage in the very big start here, but it's all getting pretty much healed back up. Firenzer trying to move on to Bubba, but gets speared away almost immediately. Grimgorn going down to about 75% health. Could use his ult immediately. Yes, he does. He decides to use it right after an end cap, but takes a counter ult in the back. That's going to take him down to about 25% health. And Bubba uses his ultimate. Only one hit. Yes, indeed, one hit right there. And Firenzer just uses his Aegis in order to block that. And a little bit of a reset from the Cold team right there. And Firenzer using his ultimate just as Chrono Flex was on cooldown, I believe. And Grimgorn a little bit triangle between that team there. And using his ultimate from Bubba. One hit onto Kaizu's, but Grimgorn decides to move over there and stop moving. DC! Another DC. And as you can see, I turned off chat again because I felt like, oh yeah, let's turn off chat in game for some reason, because that seems like a good idea. So as some people say, super fast mode. Oh, all right, he's come back. Oh wait, Grimgorn disconnected. Oh, so now he's officially disconnected. Yeah. Okay. So, Grimgorn healing himself up a little bit. Sudden Death Fog is approaching, as you can see. And me scrolling in too much for no apparent reason. Kaizu's unloading his ultimate into thin air, and an ultimate coming out from Grimgorn right there. Double hit onto Kaizu's. And Kaiser's getting taken down to about 50% health there. Fortunately for Firenzer, he still has full health, so he's able to just prioritize all heals onto him. From that point, Bubba spacing away, potentially getting a lot of damage out right here. As, wow, just one after the other from Firenzer. That was a whole lot of him ones after Madness into Silence. Was just amazingly a lot of damage right then and there. And, Bubba says bad manners, which they waited, but I guess they're saying bad manners for not waiting for them for Grimgorn to heal himself up, or something to that effect. All right, so Kaizu's getting stunned and punted in the very start right there, and jumping onto Bubba, taking him down to almost 50% health onto Grimgorn. Actually, 50% health on him. Lots of damage right there. And Bubba getting triangled once again. A lot of collapses onto him. Seems like very effective. And an ultimate into Meteor right there, right as he was in cap, using a Meteor and an ultimate at the same time. Jeez, that was a lot of damage right there. Could see a counter ult coming from Bubba, but it doesn't much matter because there was also a counter ult from Kaiser's. Ulting the counter ult to your ult, or something to that effect. As Grimgorn goes down right there. So, I mean, that round right there was fair, in my opinion, and Cold Team pulls it out. So, I think we're going to see a little bit more of a comeback coming from them. They could potentially do 2 more rounds. We see that they're capable of beating the Worm Team. It looks like they've switched up their strategies a little bit more. It looks like once again it's all relying on how much damage does Firenzer do, because when he does damage, people tend to die. And that sort of thing. So Firenzer, yeah, that wasn't necessarily too good for him to be punted over in that direction. This is really lowering their DPS onto the Worm Team, as they're not really all that much damage. They're probably just playing it a little bit safe because they had a slow start in the beginning. That parry was not too well timed there. It was obviously an ultimate, but still used it right then and there. And Grimgorn getting hit a little bit there. Still only at 75% health. I mean, all of the damage has been onto recovery health. Dodging that ultimate from Firenzer, probably uses his space. And a double hit from Grimgorn does do quite a bit of damage onto Firenzer. He's almost down to about 25% health. Could see some damage on Grimgorn. Nope. Instead, they're going to switch onto Bubba a little bit there. And could see an ultimate come out from him, especially since Kaiser is line of sighting a little bit there. And double hit onto Firenzer from that ultimate onto Bubba. And there we go. Do see an ult from Grimgorn. If he would have double hit onto Firenzer, probably would have killed him. But in order to be safe, he switched targets. And then we see a counter ult go out onto Grimgorn. He's got weakness, so he's not really going to stay in, because that wouldn't be too beneficial for him. And one hit from that ultimate onto Bubba, but Firenzer is just able to heal up any damage anyway. Fap attack onto Grimgorn just as Bubba is end-capped from that kick there, and Kaiser does get onto the way in the middle of his ultimate. So, Cold Team does take that game, or take that round. I think I actually want to see them win this game. Maybe that's bad, maybe that's good, I don't know. So, we see it get evened up into 4-4. And the winners of this round will be going into the grand finals. So we'll see how that goes there. Grimgorn not actually able to do any damage there. He was in-capped into just damage. So, and we'll see who takes the room right there. Actually, Grimgorn is pushed into it, and a fight, an M1 fight inside of that board is going to favor Kaizu's right about there. And Bubba getting taken down to about 75% health into Silence, and an ult coming out from Grimgorn. Actually, that was a double hit into I think that was a whip on the second hit right there. And Kaizu's has the opportunity to use his ultimate. There it goes. And Grimgorn is taken down to about 50% health. Counter ult coming from Warm Team doesn't have any hits on it. Could see an ult come out from Firenzer. There it goes. Taking down Grimgorn to 50% health. Now, definitely, for sure, both members of Warm Team are at 50. So we just need to see one good collapse come from the Cold Team. One hit, two hits come out from Grimgorn, taking down Kaizu's down to about 25% health, and one hit from Bubba onto Firenzer right there. Does silence him for the majority of a little bit of damage onto Kaizu. He was able to defend himself from some of that as he goes down to about 25% health there. And Bubba is trying to use his Aegis in order to counter most of this damage. You could see an ultimate coming from Kaizu. He does use it, but it was just after Grimgorn had used his space, so was able to move faster than Kaizu's right then and there. Using the Chrono Flux to prevent any projectiles from Firenzer, capitalizing on that handicap right there. You could see an ultimate come from Bubba because of that use of madness from Firenzer. Did leave a little bit of an opening. Kaizu's managed to mitigate any damage on that amplify just by end-capping Grimgorn right there. And then a little bit of a dance there. He was trapped between a rock and a hard place a little bit there because of that meter. Evenly matched on the normal health as the fog is starting to roll in almost. Kaiser is the closest to that. No hits on that ultimate, I want to say, as Firenzer does still get taken down to about 15% health. He does not have Alchemist Barrier. That is, in fact, last stand right there. And Kaiser does not have any recovery health. He needs to get healed up right now. Anything will take him out. And there they go. Congratulations to Bubba Plays Grimgorn. They're going to go to the grand finals. And that's what we're going to go watch right now. And welcome to the February 15th EU 2v2 Grand Finals. We have Stalker and Elk, which is still not playing Stalker and Elk, versus Bubba Plays Grimgorn, which we have seen mostly play the Hanging Gardens of Severe and Kite Around. So this map, Dubaku's the Fallen Forest, it's a little bit different. Not all that many corners for Bubba to Kite Around, so we'll see how they're able to deal with the turtle machine gun of the Nopa and Mule kind of team going on over here. I don't know, whatever. So Grimgorn did manage to do a little bit of damage to Nopa, and Nopa picked up the energy rune right there. Is going to allow him to get his ultimate pretty quickly here. His Herald, however, not able to get as much energy, so we'll see when exactly he gets his ultimate, and if Nopa decides to wait for his ultimate, or more likely he'll just wait until he gets a conch shell off to use his meteor or something to that effect. And actually not even seeing either one of that. In fact, seeing an ultimate with a counter ult coming first from Grimgorn, and then Nopa just spinning around wildly with his ultimate. So Nopa gets hit from that ultimate from Bubba right there, deciding to pull Grimgorn in out of line of sight, and potentially could do quite a bit of damage to Bubba right about there. And this hallway possibly is beneficial mostly to the Warm Team, so the Cold Team does book it out of there. Could see an ultimate come out from Bubba. He's not. In fact, actually, we saw one from Fuel right there. And did see a lot of damage going out into Nopa as he got hit from that ultimate. And that end cap just as soon as the Chrono Flux was going out. And Nopa jumping in, trying to do as much damage as possible, getting a little bit of a meter onto Grimgorn right there. Bubba getting chain CC'd, doing a lot of damage to Grimgorn right here. But managing to heal him up using the Herald space. Grimgorn trying to F1 up just a little bit. I don't think that was necessarily worth it for him. Double hit from that ultimate onto the Cold Team. Nice Chrono Flux for your Chrono Flux. Yo dog, I heard you like Chrono Flux, as that ultimate was coming out right there. One hit from Bubba's ultimate right there. Excuse me. As it looks like Grimgorn once again trying to heal up. It looks like he managed to get a little bit more health right about there. Reminding him to check on the scoreboard to see how much he got, as he gets hit by a meter right there. Looks like, oh, he tried to cast his ultimate twice right there, but kept on getting interrupted. Bubba hiding in the corner for as long as he can, just trying to take as little damage as possible, and using up all of his energy on what I would call desperation abilities like Aegis and the Time Rift in order to make himself immaterial for just as long as possible. Oh, the healing from he got 370 Bloodline Medallion health. So that's what I was trying to look at, is how much he managed to heal himself for. We'll see as we go into the second round what the response from the whole team is, if they go into a more aggressive stance against this ranged team here, as Nopa actually jumps in and takes an aggressive stance against the melee team right then and there, using his Aegis in order to stay in for just a little bit longer as his base comes up. So Grimgorn going on the aggressive, taking down Muley down to about 75% health. And could see an ultimate from him. Nope, does not decide to use it. It's not the right timing. Bubba almost... Oh, now it is. Apparently now it is the right timing for that. Taking Muley down to almost 50% health with recovery health. And Nopa does not get hit by that ultimate. He was in the position to get hit by it, but he did not indeed. And has to use his Shurgen's finest in order to kite Grimgorn for just a little bit longer there. Double hit, triple hit, in fact, coming from Grimgorn right there. And that Chronoflux did block a conch shell from Nopa, in fact, causing him to hit himself right there. As that Chronoflux just barely saving Nopa right there. And no hits on that ultimate from Bubba. And reflected EX Sphere, I believe that was right there, as Grimgorn just trying to train onto Nopa as much as possible and do quite a bit of damage. Could see an ultimate. Nope, not right now. As there we go. Now he sees that ultimate. It seems like right when I see an opportunity for it, he just uses it just 2 or 3 seconds after that, possibly because, you know, I have the advantage of seeing the entire field and everything. But I say, no excuses, Grimgorn. You should be able to see around the corners. I just don't understand why you can't, you know. So, ultimate coming out from Muley. Bubba dodging that with his face, as Grimgorn just trying to avoid any damage as he can. Nopa could potentially use his ultimate right now, instead using Enlarge, doing a little bit of damage with that EMP there and the Tractor Beam, as Grimgorn gets taken down to that 25-ish with normal health. That's all. And, oh, actually that punt takes Nopa out of that ultimate there, negating more damage than it actually dealt, for that moment at least. And we see a reset from either team, as I just now switched to free game. And it looks like Nopa, he decides to use his Aegis right then and there. That is, of course, because the small fog area gets knocked into the fog. 1 hit, 2 hits from Grimgorn does take out the remainder of the Worm team. Right then and there. So, more than likely, it doesn't benefit the Worm team all that much to go into the sudden fog, because of course melees just thrive in areas where there's very little room, and he also has that punt, which is just killer in the sudden death fog at that point. Grimgorn getting veered off into the corner, and Nopa getting it in capped is going to allow Bubba to take the energy right there. And Bubba getting his fear interrupted with Nopa's shrink. That was a good move from Nopa at that point right there. As Grimgorn seems to be focusing the most of his attention onto Nopa for this game here, as he gets handicapped right there. This hallway, this notorious hallway right here. Bubba getting no hits on that ultimate, and Nopa has to use his Aegis just to wait for potentially his space to come back up. Grimgorn probably, yes, does use his ultimate, taking Muley down to about 75% health. He has to use his Aegis. Nova not really able to do all that much damage to Bubba at that point then. And getting taken down to almost 50% health. This could potentially do it, but no, Muley does in fact damage him. Heal him up right there, using the Chrono Flux in order to slow down Grimgorn so he couldn't get to the energy room fast enough. Bubba could use his ultimate, especially since nobody's spaced on the other side of this wall, and neither goes out there. Out coming from Muley, actually blind hitting it onto Bubba. There you go, seeing around corners. Thank you. And Bubba trying to kite as much as possible and not really mitigating all that much damage coming from Nova. Ultimate coming from Grimgorn. Double hit, I want to say, on that, as Muley did get taken down to about 50% health. You can see an ultimate from Bubba as well, as not all that much energy on the one team. So same health from either team as we're getting really close to the sudden death fog. There it goes. Meter onto Muley. Looks like he might have been able to dodge that, I'm not sure, as he goes down to about 25% health and gets punted away just as he uses Aegis. So that's actually going to be a little bit of wasted energy from him, as Grimgorn does grab the energy and moves on to Nopa. Oh, a little bit of a whip ult there. Nopa doesn't even get taken out of recovery health. It didn't even take him out of his Aegis. And no hits. Wait, no hits on that. Actually, one hit on that ultimate coming from Bubba. Looks like that extra damage is going to do a lot to Muley right there. Nopa possibly is going to wait until the fog closes in quite a bit more, or Bubba uses his Chrono Flux, which is right there, for his ultimate to come out. Double ultimate from the full team, no hits really, but Nopa gets punted out into the fog. So once again, I mean, it's really beneficial for the Cold team for them to go into the sudden death fog, because they can just punt anybody out that they want to, and then they win. You know, it's like once you get punted into the sudden death fog, you can't do anything other than run back in, because if you did stand in the fog casting abilities, then you're really going to lose out on more than what you're doing. So as that Grimgorn is going to pick up the energy, once again jump in onto Nova. Once again, he just seems to be mostly tunneling onto Nova, as Bubba is just kiting around, trying his best to take as little damage as possible, as he's really doing quite a good job at that. And going down to about 75% health though, and Grimgorn is doing the same. And Nova almost has his ultimate, but Bubba already has his. We could see it come out at any moment, especially double ultimate coming from the full team would be pretty huge. But the order of that ultimate was a little bit off. If Grimgorn would have waited just a little bit longer, Bubba could have used his first, and that would have been a little bit more damage. Muley just barely missing that fear onto Bubba, as Grimgorn went down to about 50% health right about there, and Bubba the same, taking a little bit of spare damage from that point, or Grimgorn getting feared over into this area, releases a little bit of pressure on Nova. Nova gets hit by that, and Muley actually dodges out of it. So we could see a counter-ult situation from the one team, as Muley almost has it. He does have his ultimate, and one hit onto it. Nopa, he already had used his energy on an EX or a medallion at that point, so couldn't see any good double ult combo from there. Could see Grimgorn use his. He usually uses it pretty quickly. There it goes. Nopa getting taken out of his recovery health, as we see another ultimate come from Bubba as well. One hit onto Nova, but no capitalize onto it, as Grimgorn does get in-capped in that area. Bubba getting line of sight a little bit. Meter onto Grimgorn, takes him down to almost 25% health, and in-cap going on to Nova. Really spacing out just in the right time to dodge that ultimate from Bubba, as Nova just moved out of the way in order to reducing the capitalization onto it. Could see Grimborn use his ultimate, especially since Nova used his space, as he does have it right about now. Bubba is taking a whole bunch of damage. He needs to watch out for that, though, as they do have a severe health disadvantage, and the fog is coming in right there. And down goes Grimborn right there. Bubba probably soon to follow, as he does use his ultimate, but both members of the one team still had their spaces and were able to just get out of there anyway. Possibly could have seen a, I don't know, an EX sphere to knock people out, or something to that effect. Might have had more of an effect. And both teams wrapping it up into a 2-2. This game going a little bit longer than before. And both teams, it looks like, might be able to grab the room this time. Even running trend is that Grimborn has gotten it so far, but Nopa might be able to grab it right now. There we go. Does in fact get that, almost has this ultimate pretty quickly in comparison to the Cold team right there. Grimborn jumping onto Melee and dodging that meteor coming out to counter that. Reflected EMP onto Nova doesn't help him all that much. One hit onto the one team from Grimborn's ultimate right there. As we see Nopa trying to kite a little bit and do as much damage as he can, as he had no recovery health at that moment. And no hits from that ultimate from Mule. Fortunately for him, Fear onto Bubba is going to open up a little bit of possibility, but no capitalize on that. You could see an ultimate from Nova as the Chronoflex could come out. Right there it is. So could see his ultimate, but instead he uses Sergen's Finest in order to move a little bit faster and kite this Raven that is permanently stuck up next to him, or behind him. Trying not to say from there. But Mule does have his ult, could see a counter ult there, and no hits on that. Grimborn was able to dodge out of the way of the only one that was remotely near anyone. As Grimborn almost gets down to about 50% health. Both of these teams expertly dodging the other team's abilities, pretty much. As I say that just as Grimborn goes down to about 25% health and gets hit by that ultimate there. He's going to go heal up in the corner there. Looks like Nopa's going to do the same thing. So we're going to have a 1v1 between the healers as Bubba uses his ultimate one hit onto Nopa, interrupting his heal at least, as Grimborn lays down the hurt onto Mole right there. And did manage to heal himself up quite a bit. Mole going down to about 50% health in that engagement. And Bubba trying to use his ultimate. Only one hit so far, does not hit the healer, so that means that most of the damage is going to get mitigated on Nova. Oh, and the Sudden Death Fog is indeed coming in right here. So it looks like another F1 coming from Nopa, and that ends up going through that Coronal Flux just as it was going down. As Cold team has the health advantage, it appears. And 2 hits from that ultimate onto Mole, and a punt onto Nopa, and forces him to use his space, and he's not able to dodge out of Bubba's ultimate right there. So it looks like Cold team is just going to clean that one up right there. Yes, indeed, they do. Comrade Revener. Alright. So, maybe going to see a flip-flop match as one team gets the lead and then the other team just ties it up, or something to that effect. Looks like it all comes down to the Sudden Death Fog. Every round, it seems, this so far has gone to Sudden Death Fog. And Bubba looks like he's going to get the room, and yes, he does. Nopa spaces out there. There's really no reason to be in the center anymore after that, as Millie does indeed miss that fear, and a counter fear onto him does hit him and put him off into this corner here. May actually be beneficial for the feedback there, as there's limited angles for Grimborn to move in And probably going to see an ultimate. Yes, double hit from that, but Mole actually spaces out of it as no hits on that ultimate. And Bubba spaces through Grimgorn just to heal him up just in time. But one hit from Mole, actually 2 hits from Mole, does take the whole team down to about 25% health on Grimgorn right there. Looks like that Grimgorn has switched up his strategy of doing most of his damage onto Nopa, and he's getting punished for it as melees have a little bit of a hard time against heralds in some respects right there, and almost taking Nopa down to cover normal health right there, and Mole looking for an opportunity to use his spear, but none presenting themselves so far. So far, the Serpent's Finest seems like it's doing a good amount of help for Nopa right there, as he's able to reposition himself where he wants to. Bubba using his ultimate just as soon as he gets it, but no hits on that, no cigar, and both teams just managing to heal up beautifully right there. A meteor, double meteor, looked like takes both of the whole team into normal health. Bubba has his ultimate. We'll see if he uses it right off the bat. He might now that he's behind here. Mole instead using his ultimate, but no hits on that as he was doing it blind. Nova just bossing through that Chrono Flux, using his shrink even to go through it faster. Mole getting hit just barely by the end of that ultimate, but not really all that much damage to capitalize on the silence onto Nopa at that point there. So Bubba going to heal himself up, gets spaced over by Nopa. Nopa gets CC'd in the corner, so we're seeing another reset. Grimgorn could use his ultimate. There we go, double hit onto, maybe not. It looked like that was actually dodged right there. And Grimgorn going down to about 25% health there, as he had no trouble blocking that out right there. And this could potentially go to the Worm team, as they do have the health advantage, and no one was hit by the ultimate. So there we go, as the Worm team ties this up, and right at the sudden death fog. So world's longest game ever, really, at 19 minutes and 35 seconds. This match actually could be a video on its own. I might do that. I might just split it up into 3 parts. But anyway, 4th, 6th, 7th match is starting right now, as Grimgorn does space onto Nopa and tries to get that stun off. Mole does take the energy ring right there, and Meteor goes out onto Nopa as he was conch shelled, doing a little bit of damage right there. So another reset puts one team over next to the energy room, and a split up between the cold team, punting Nopa over into this general area. Mole, oh, that was a little bit of a whiff space, but no capitalization on that at all. And Bubba using his ultimate, double hit onto Nopa, 1 hit onto Mole. Mole responds with an Aegis, and oh, hit onto Mole from that ultimate. The second hit just barely hit him, as he didn't continue running. He just decided to shift into onto himself, and that took him down to about 25% health there. But we could see a counter ult come from Mole, but it doesn't look like the positioning is very good. Yeah, no hits on it at all. And a counter field coming from Bubba almost gets Chrono Flux back into his face there. And Nopa gets taken down to about 50% health from this M1 war between him and Grimgorn. Oh, that space wasn't good for him at all, taking him absolutely nowhere. Grimgorn just capitalized on that right away. Reflected Fear onto Mole, forces him to use his Aegis as he's stuck in this corner, dodging that ultimate throw. But Nopa getting hit by one of them. He's still just barely over 25% health. Mole getting stuck into this corner once again, has the space out of there. Double hit, 1 hit, so triple hit from Grimgorn, as he does a whole bunch of damage onto Mole right there. And Mole is forced to space away once again. A whole bunch of kiting coming from the Worm team, and anything could really take out Mole right there. Reflected Fear. Mole has his ultimate. Probably not the best idea for him to use it right about now. Still uses it anyway. Positioning was a little bit off in that respect. And Grimgorn does use his double hit onto Mole, as that ultimate coming from Nopa was cancelled by Bubba's ultimate. And a little bit of counter ult, power versus power there. So Cold Team taking this 7th round here, and we'll see if Warm Team maybe ties it up once more, or if Cold Team just plain takes this last round here. And if they do, then they'll be crowned the winners of this particular tournament. It is the 15th of February EU tournament, actually, from earlier today. As Nopa gets punted over to the other side of the wall there, allowing Grimgorn to take the rune. And in fact, that was a little bit of a trade there, as Nopa was allowed to use his Bloodline Medallion, even though they could have chased after him and interrupted it. That would have meant that they would have had to give up position on the rune. Mule getting hit by that fear as he was just coming around the corner, unable to see that it was coming at all. Next time we get that, Grimgorn has his ultimate. Looks like he's going to use it right there. 2 hits onto Mole, but Mole did use his Aegis right in time, using an EXQ in order to dodge out that 1 hit from Bubba onto Mole with that ultimate right there, and the meter gets blocked by an Aegis. Seems like that happens quite a bit, and Nope getting taken down to about 50% health, as that Chronoflex going to block Nopa's any attacks on Nopa for just a little while there. And a little bit of a whipped EMP from him right there. And could see a double ultimate pretty soon from the Cold Team. It looks like they're saving up for it, but also from the Warm Team, as they could be saving up for it. Instead, Bubba using his immediately. 1 hit onto Nopa, and 1 hit onto Grimgorn from Mole, as actually the whole Cold Team was hit right there. And could see a counter ult coming out right about now, or Nopa just using his. He's probably waiting for the spin or the Chronoflex, which that shows why he was waiting for that, because just as soon as it gets used, it's immediately right when your ult doesn't mean anything. Grimgorn actually able to heal up quite a bit right there, because he was just in the right position. Double hit onto Mole from Grimgorn. It's going to take him down quite a bit, but a counter ult Mole did in fact cancel out the follow-up damage from there. And the ring's about to pop up. It really comes down to who takes it. Looks like Bubba might take it. Oh, Nopa takes it. Nope, Bubba takes it. Anyway, so, and Grimgorn doesn't have any recovery health here, so it would be the perfect time to capitalize on that, but he moves out of there just in time. 1 hit onto Grimgorn from Mole. And Bubba is on the wrong side of that Chronoflex. No capitalize on that, though. But he gets feared over there. Lots of potential for damage onto Grimgorn. He does use the end cap in order to just spend a little bit of time waiting. And 1 hit from Bubba onto Nopa right there. Potential for amplified damage. 1 hit, 2 hits from Grimgorn onto Nopa. That is definitely going to... Oh, punt into the fog. And, oh my god, so much damage. And Grimgorn is the last man standing in the middle of all of that carnage. So, congratulations to Bubba Plays Grimgorn for their victory. They won the EU 2v2 tournament. Oh, that was quite a long match at 25 minutes and 26 seconds. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time. Maybe I need to sit up in my seat when I'm commentating. That might work. Maybe I need to stop drinking alcohol. Fap attack. Fap attack. The EU Pro Cup tournaments. EU Pro Cup tournaments. The EU Pro Cup tournaments. That's what you're watching now. EU Pro Cup tournaments. So, once again, we see the retarded rabbit. Yes, indeed. Alright, Stalker and Alchemist. View that funky replay. View that funky replay.